if we're going to make that right real and prevent our own lives from being lost, we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to stand up for those rights. It's like, this is go time. This is it.
Hello, and welcome back to For Humanity, an AI Risk podcast. This is episode number 69, Hunger Strikes versus Big AI. I'm John Sherman, your host. I'm also the president of the AI Risk Network in San Francisco and in London right now, where AI companies are making technology they openly admit has the near-term future potential to end all life on Earth. There are at least 3 people taking the fight against AI risk to a new level, hunger striking to call attention to the gravest issue humanity will likely ever confront. One man, Guido Reichstatter, began his hunger strike last week, and now others are following his inspirational example. When I traveled to San Francisco last November, I met Guido when he was going into a court hearing. He had been arrested for blocking the front entrance to OpenAI, using nonviolent civil disobedience to call attention to AI risk, the risk that OpenAI is exposing all of our families to. I do not know that there is anyone on the planet who is putting in as much personally and sacrificing as much to call attention to AI risk as Guido is.
Your family is in Miami. You've left your family to come here. How did that go? How is that? How do you feel being away from them?
It's heartbreaking, right? I mean, I feel like I wish I wasn't here. I wish I didn't need to be here. And I wish I could be doing my old life and, going forward with the normal future that I had planned, But that's the situation that we're in is being imposed on us from outside, and we have to react appropriately to it, which means not ignoring what's actually going on, not pretending reality doesn't exist.
Yeah. And so you are waking up in a homeless shelter every day, away from your family. Every day starts with what can I do today?
Yeah. I mean, we've got a general plan that we're working. So it's moving as expeditiously towards it as we can.
So now to our interview this week. Guido has been joined by 2 others in the hunger strike. And while Guido hunger strikes outside Anthropic in San Francisco, filmmaker Michael Trozzi and another AI risk activist, Demis Hassabis, are hunger striking outside of Google DeepMind in London. I interviewed all 3 hunger strikers in the past few days. Let's start out with Guido Reichstatter in San Francisco. Guido, it is nice to see you again, sir.
It's
we have
always
spent some
a pleasure.
time together. Yeah. I've been following, what you've been doing out there in San Francisco, and I'm really appreciate the way you approach this thing. There are a lot of people I know that care about AI risk, but there are not many, maybe not any, that I know that are willing to put in the kind of personal sacrifice that you have, not just now, but even before now.
I think they potentially
thank
are.
you for doing what you do.
There are potentially many people. It's just a matter of we all take our time to come around to what needs to be done.
Yeah, but there's a potential hunger strike and then there's an actual hunger strike, and you know what I mean? So being willing to do the actual thing and not just the potential thing is, I think, what separates you from a whole lot of people in this thing. So let's get right into what you're doing. You are on day 4 or 5 of a hunger strike. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, it's the 4th day that I'm out in front of Anthropic. I stopped eating Sunday, and then it was Labor Day, and I was kind of just adjusting, and I came out on Tuesday. So that's when I started. And what Anthropic is doing puts the lives of my children at risk, puts my life at risk and your life. We know this. Everyone in that building knows what they're doing, and they know the implication. And I feel like I've got a right and I've got a responsibility to talk to the person in charge. if he's made a conscious decision to do something that could end up killing my children, he has a responsibility to look me in the eyes and explain what he's doing. So the morning that I came here, I delivered a letter to the front desk addressed to Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, asking him to stop participating in the race to artificial general intelligence. And I told him in the letter that I'd be outside waiting for his response. So that's why I'm here.
What you say about our children resonates so deeply with me, and I hope with so many other people out there. And I hope that that is our off-ramp to this nightmare that people like Dario Amodei are walking all of our families towards. So you brought the letter into the front desk of Anthropic. You want to meet with Dario Amodei to talk with him about what he is doing, the risk he is taking with your children's lives. Incredibly important. I have to ask, why Anthropic? There are multiple AI companies that are doing, this AGI race. Why'd you pick Anthropic?
A couple of reasons. First of all, I'm barred from coming within 50 yards of OpenAI because I locked their doors shut a few times.
There's that. There's that. Okay.
Anthropic is one of the kind of like peers of OpenAI. And one reason is they seem to have a self-conception of themselves as a responsible company. And this is a perception which is shared among people, many people who are concerned about AI risk. I think it's intensely deceptive to think that there is a way to do what they're doing safely. And it is a form of misleading our society. Another reason is I just watched an interview with Dario. I think it was, I forget who the interviewer was. But essentially, he reiterated this view that the race to AGI, superintelligence, is impossible to stop. It's inevitable. This is a similar view that Sam Altman has expressed. It's inevitable. Yeah. There's nothing we can do to stop it. And this is a lie. It's a very self-serving lie. There's a quote by a man, Joseph Weizenbaum, who said, I'm probably going to butcher it, but it's something like the myth of technological inevitability, economic inevitability, political inevitability. It's a powerful tranquilizer of the conscience. Its purpose is to serve to remove responsibility from the shoulders of everyone who believes in it. So I completely reject this myth that the race to these AIs that threaten all our lives cannot be stopped. And that is the first barrier which has to be overcome in order to stop it. It's the belief in inevitability.
Yeah. I mean, this thing does not yet exist. It does not yet exist. It doesn't yet exist. We don't have to make it. It's an active choice to create this thing that does not currently exist.
It's a choice that many thousands of people are taking. They are building these systems, and they're backed by hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars in capital. So the flip side of that is that you have a choice. Your viewers have a choice. Every single person that comes into consciousness of what the situation we're in, the life and death situation we're in, we've got choices too. And it's our, we got to man up and take them. We have to stop it, because otherwise it will be inevitable. If the people who understand the risk that this technology and this race to AGI poses to our children and everyone we love, if we abandon that responsibility, it will be inevitable. It will be built.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say this to all of our viewers out there. Guido's doing what he's doing. You guys have seen what I'm doing. Everyone can play their part. Everyone has something that they're good at, something that they can contribute. I tell you something that Guido Reichstatter has contributed to the AI risk movement in ways that no one else has is grit. Like sitting out there, not eating for days and days and days and days and days and days, getting uncomfortable. I have been inspired by your ability to push through the comforts that I cling to, that so many people cling to, that are a part of our modern lives. So mad respect to you, Guido. So let's talk about what this is leading up to, when the hunger strike might stop, and what that event is, and give me the whole sort of backstory on that, and we can get into that.
So me and some friends, we have taken direct action a couple of times. We've nonviolently blocked the entrances to AI companies that are doing frontier AI research, putting our lives and the lives of everyone we love at risk. And we did this intentionally to go to trial, to bring this to trial, because we're claiming a right. I have the right to protect my children. I have the right to nonviolently stop these companies from threatening their lives. And I'm willing to go to court to defend this right. That's what we're seeking to establish. We're pleading not guilty by reason of necessity, that it was necessary to take these actions to stop the race to AGI.
Yeah. And when we were in, I was in one of the initial court proceedings of this in San Francisco when, that was November of 24, right? And these court cases take forever to get through to this thing. And so there's some chance that the judge in this case is going to allow potentially the issue of AI itself. Like, is your family endangered, and are you making a justified move by non-violently using means of non-violent civil disobedience? Is that acceptable within the law given the threat to your family by the AI companies?
I think that it is. And we've got some people lined up, hopefully, to testify to that, some expert witnesses to testify to the facts that there is an emergency. But the law around necessity, the idea, the defense of necessity is a very old idea. It goes back probably thousands of years. I'm sure any legal system has grappled with the idea that sometimes it's necessary to break the law to prevent a greater evil. So it's part of common law. The way that it's cast into the actual jurisprudence in California poses some barriers to applying it into this case. But regardless, the important thing is we're in an emergency. The technicalities of the law, whether it even is legally permissible, are secondary to the need to prevent that harm. And if it involves being found guilty and going to jail, so be it. This is what we should be prepared to do for the sake of the ones we love. And so I claim this right, and I'm willing to defend it. And that's the most important thing. And I hope to inspire other people to claim this right. Because we have the right. We have this right. We have the right to life and to live without fear of the world being destroyed by this insane race. And it's if we're going to make that right real and prevent our own lives from being lost, we're going to have to fight. We're going to have to stand up for those rights.
I want to stress this point because there are forces outside there are forces that want the race to continue unfettered so they can make more money, that often try to paint the things like what you are doing as being violent, as being illegal, as being criminal. And I think it is really, really important to point out and stress that every single thing you have done and are doing, right, is nonviolent, civil disobedience, akin to what changed the country in the civil rights movement, akin to what has changed politics all over the world when mass movements have been successful using nonviolent civil disobedience.
This absolutely. And I think there's a very important point here. If we do not stop this nonviolently, there's a very good chance that this race will produce violence on an unimaginable scale. Because just as we have a right to life, people in other countries have just as much right to life. The CEO, Dario Amodei, of this company, Anthropic, has written of a plan to use the temporary advantage that they have in the AI race to turn it into a permanent advantage through recursive self-improvement, the most dangerous possible
the red
thing you
line,
could do
the
with
bright
AI.
red line. Yeah.
And to use that to achieve total supremacy over the rest of the world. If the race comes to that point, China, Russia, nuclear armed states will rationally consider it in their self-interest to end this race by massive violence. So those of us who believe this race can be ended through nonviolence have a very heavy responsibility to do everything we can to prevent it from reaching that state.
It is such an important point that though there are forces outside of the AI safety movement that try to paint the AI safety movement as violent, when AI advancement itself threatens greater violence than this planet has ever known.
In this situation, inaction is complicity with violence. If we allow, through our inaction, this race to proceed to that end state, we bear complicity because we could have prevented it. And that's why it's so important for us to take nonviolent direct action now when there is a chance of changing the future. And I just want to be clear, nobody on earth knows how far away we are from that point of no return. For the first time in my life, I'm 45. When I was 20, I first learned about the potential for AGI. Then people thought it was something that was going to happen at the end of the 21st century. I thought it wasn't my fight. That's not what people think anymore. And no one knows how far we are to this race spinning out of control. That's why this is an emergency. We know the potential consequences. We don't know how far we are from the edge of the cliff. The only responsible thing to do is stop the race now.
And so you are out there in front of Anthropic. You got a sign that says, "I'm on a hunger strike to prevent ASI or something like that."
It says, "Anthropic, stop the race to AGI, artificial general intelligence."
What kind of reaction are you getting out there? Are there employees out there, regular San Francisco people walking around? What is, I imagine you have to have a couple of people talking to you about what you're doing.
Yeah. A number of bystanders have come by and we've had conversations. People have said respect and, way to go. And I've talked with some of the construction workers and the service workers that are working, that service Anthropic. And it's really almost surreal. I turn my chair to watch the people in the lobby of Anthropic, and developers come in and out every day. And a thought has occurred to me as I'm watching them. The DoorDash drivers, they're bringing them food. They don't know that the people they're bringing food to are working to build something that could kill them. And the developers are happy not to tell the DoorDash drivers, even though they know they're putting their lives at risk. This is a part of the lie. This is a part of the lie which is preventing our society from reacting as it should. The lie that there is no emergency. The lie that things are going ahead as normal, that everything's okay. And this is part of the lie which Anthropic is propagating through its refusal to do everything in its power to alert society of the danger that we're in. If you're going to put society in danger, you've got a responsibility to make sure people know what you're doing. We as a society have not consented to this. And we have not even had the potential to have informed consent. Because the people that are putting our lives in danger, sure, Dario Amodei makes a couple speeches now and then, but that does not fulfill the responsibility to ensure that our society is aware of what's going on. How can our society end this race if most people don't know what's going on? If they don't even know that there is a race, they don't have no idea how urgent and how close the point of no return could be. So, yeah, that's what we've got to do.
Yeah. Are you encouraged at all by trends? I feel like in the last 3 or 4 months, there has been a real uptick in breakthrough in mainstream media, in sort of general public awareness. I still think nobody knows really about it, but there are green shoots busting through the ground. And I feel some optimism and some momentum behind, people like you, people like me who are trying to alert our neighbors to the realities that we are in. Do you feel that?
I don't, I guess I haven't followed as closely maybe as you have, but also my conviction to do what I do is not based on what I see around me. It's based on what I feel my duty is. And it's based on what my love compels me to do. It's like, it's beyond optimism or pessimism. It's doing what must be done because it has to be done. I'm interested in learning what specifically you're referring to because it shows perhaps an opportunity to engage directly with society. If you're going to just see that and take that as a sign for optimism and an excuse not to do anything, I think that's not the right thing to do. But if you see people,
no, I'm not saying, yeah.
You see where these threads are beginning to be pulled on, then what you should do is see how you can pull on them more, right?
Yeah.
Fan the flames.
Just one little sign that you can find it and watch it tonight is, our dear friend, Dr. Roman Yampolsky went on the Diary of a CEO, one of the most popular podcasts on the planet. It's got more than 1 million views in the first day. And, Roman drops the hammer. He does an incredible job. He might be my favorite AI risk, articulator out there right now because he doesn't beat around the bush. He goes right to extinction in the first 10 seconds of every interview he does. He did it on Rogan. He did it again on Diary of a CEO. He gets in the guy's like, well, what do you want to talk about? Why are you here? And he says, just much like you would say, a lot like I would say, he's like, I'm here because I think AI is going to kill my kids. That's why I'm here. And I don't want that to happen. If that idea could be implanted into every parent on the planet, I think the threat would be over. I really do. I feel like if all the moms of the America and of the world knew what was going on and how directly their children are threatened, this would be over. They'd walk in, turn the lights on and be like, get this crap out of here. We're not doing this. What are you thinking? Like a 10-year-old at a party who's built some crazy thing in the garage. They'd be like, shut it down.
Well, that's the important thing. It has to round out to action at some point. And my perspective is action is like it's a force that induces awareness as well. Right? It's like you can say we need more awareness and we certainly need more awareness. But we also need the people who are already aware, and there are many of them, to take action consistent with what it means to be in an emergency.
And so what do you say to just, the average viewer out there, right? I'm a viewer. I'm in Michigan. I'm in Ohio. I'm in wherever I am. I have a job. I have some family. What would you directly say to someone who sees you, who's inspired by the action you're taking? What would you encourage them to do?
Well, I'm not going to give the usual spiel. Many people have said, you call your representative, call your... Sure, do that. That's not what I'm going to say to do. What I'm going to say to do is, in the past, many great social movements have been built, and they've been built with blood, sweat, and tears. We need people who are aware of this to start putting the resources up to get. I'll tell you, we need hundreds, we need thousands of mobilizers working full time to encourage and mobilize people to assert their right to nonviolently stop these companies. This is what I think is the path to awareness and awakening. So we need a mass movement. We need to build a mass movement. For some people, that might mean changing out of the work that they're doing. And we need to raise funds to allow people to begin working full time on this. It's insane to think that the world's not worth spending $10 a month to save, right? And it's insane to think that we're going to defeat these forces backed by hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars in capital without making sacrifices, whether they're financial sacrifices or the kinds of sacrifices that come with taking direct action. So the most you can do, absolutely. We need to. I think it's amazing that you have so many viewers who are becoming aware. You know, there's a Martin Luther King quote: "Those who love peace need to organize effectively as those who love war." Right? The people in these companies are bringing war to our doorstep, whether it's through AI or through international conflict, or through many of the kinds of catastrophic impacts that we expect will come from very powerful AI. So yeah, we got to build a mass movement. There's no two ways around that. And it's going to take people committing financially if they're able to, and people committing it to the maximum of their capacity. It's like, this is go time. This is it.
When I was 15 years old, I decided I wanted to be a TV news reporter. There are 4 major national awards a TV news reporter can win: the Peabody, the DuPont Columbia, the National Emmy, and the National Edward R. Murrow Award. Before I was 33 years old, I had won all 4 as a local news reporter investigating Chesapeake Bay polluters.
Reporter John Sherman will accept the Peabody.
John Sherman.
But I left news in 2010 when the internet was really starting to radically change the news business. Now, algorithms dictate much of what we see, and in turn, much of what we think. That's why I am so excited today to talk to you about Ground News, the founding sponsor of the AI Risk Network and For Humanity, an AI Risk podcast. I first heard about Ground News when I noticed them sponsoring many of my favorite podcasts, but true confession, I never used the service until they approached me about sponsoring this podcast. So I tried it, and truly, I have been blown away. It is a fundamentally different way to consume news. Okay, next true confession. Before Ground News, I used to use Twitter to get all of my news from. My thought process was like, well, I'm reading the major publications and I'm reading the major writers, so, how bad could it be? It was really bad, like way worse than I thought. If you see anything often enough, it becomes normal, but these algorithms kind of lull you to sleep, and you lose your perspective. And I realized that was exactly what was happening to me. Ground News pulled back the curtain for me. Even for me, with 12 years experience working at news, it revealed things not just about the news itself, but about the way it was being covered that I wasn't really able to see. Sensationalism and bias were sneaking past my radar, and I didn't even know it. Ground News lets me compare headlines and know going in the biases of the publication, so before I ever read a word of the article, I understand the frame around it much better. So as an example, let's take the historic defeat of big tech in the US Senate when the proposed 10-year state AI law moratorium was crushed by a vote of 99-1 at 4 a.m. Ground News gives me 270 articles in one place, but then it gives me a distilled bias comparison. For me, I spend a ton of my time trying to think about how to effectively communicate with the general public about AI extinction risk. So this bias comparison shows me how the left was framing it up around environmental impacts, where the right was framing it around states' rights. That is really informative to me as I try to form my opinions and make decisions about how I'm going to communicate about AI extinction risk with the general public going forward. I also absolutely love this feature called Blind Spot. It shows you what stories are being covered super heavily by one side. These are stories in your algorithm you just might miss because you don't know they're out there. So if you want to support the AI Risk Network, there is nothing more powerful you can do in terms of showing your support than subscribing to Ground News and using our custom code. There's a QR code right here. There's the URL right here. It's ground.news/AI risk. They will know everyone who's using that came from right here. It's incredibly important that we ring that bell a lot and get a lot of subscribers into Ground News. So please go sign up, do it. You'll be glad you did. Ground News and the AI Risk Network want to form a long-term relationship and partnership, but that depends on one thing: our viewers actually subscribing to Ground News. So I need you to go in to your phone, to your laptop, to wherever, ground.news/AI risk. Sign up. You'll be able to support the AI Risk Network tremendously and get the perspective on your news that you have been lacking. It is so important. Please do it. All right, now back to the show.
Walk me through the rest of the month. So you're going to continue to hunger strike all the way up until September 15th. That'll be, 15 days or so of you not eating anything.
Well, I mean, if Dario agrees to meet with me before then, I'll probably cut it short. But I'm doing 0 calories. I'm doing electrolytes and a multivitamin, basically. So,
Wow.
And my goal is to go beyond the trial if necessary as well. The trial might end this month. It might not. I might be in jail by the end of this month. But regardless, I'll continue.
What do you think it is that you are the one that has chosen to make all of this sacrifice, and very few, if any, others are there with you? What green switch went on in you that we can search for in others?
I have no idea. No, I mean, I ask myself that question sometimes because it does kind of seem surreal to be in a society of hundreds of millions of people. I don't know, maybe it's accidental. Maybe it's just an accident of my upbringing or life experiences. One thing, my father died when I was very young, when I was 9 years old, 10 years old. So I think maybe I came face to face with the reality of death relatively early. And I think that one thing that it certainly made me do is appreciate life and the beauty of this world. The thing that drives me forward is my children. It's the love for them. I want them to have the world that I had, the chance to have a world.
Yeah.
So
I know, man.
With that in mind, there's nothing there is no sacrifice that's too much, right? Everything pales in comparison.
Could not agree with you more. Okay, so you'll keep striking, demanding a meeting with Dario Amodei. If Anthropic really is the ones who are doing it right, and they're the white hats in this world of AGI developers, bring Guido up to Dario's office and have him explain why he has the right to use Guido's children as his test lab for his profits. Seems, I don't think he's going to stop doing it, but he could certainly give you that explanation. I would love to hear that. What is your P meeting Dario?
I think that Dario is going to do the right thing.
You do?
Yeah. Maybe I have too much faith, but I have faith in humanity. I've got faith in everybody. I think none of us are beyond redemption. And I think, I don't think he is either.
Yeah. And you know what? We haven't built it yet. It doesn't exist. We're not past the point of no return. We are before the point of no return. It's a key distinction.
Yeah, but it's coming. It's coming on. There's no time to waste. It's like we see the iceberg dead ahead. We know it takes time to move the world out of the path of this disaster. We have no idea how much time that will take. And if it takes more time to move the world out of the path to the disaster than it takes to build these disastrous systems, we're going to hit the iceberg. So there's no time to waste. I mean, it would be great if all the mothers in America woke up tomorrow. Even so, it's not the end of the road. It's like, get it. We got to get it done. And this is, I think this is something that humanity is going to have to deal with this forever. There will always be this potential. And if we're going to survive, we're going to have to learn how to live with each other, right? We're going to have to learn how to make a world that's safe from this possibility. So the immediate goal is to stop the race right now before it ends in disaster. But the challenge doesn't end then. It's to prevent the race from ever being picked up again. And that's going to involve major changes to how we relate to each other.
Yeah. And we're either going to solve these problems or we're not going to get to any of the other problems. We solve this problem or we don't. And then everything else comes after that. I would say to our viewers out there, please view the comment section of this video as your opportunity to give Guido words of encouragement, support. He's going to be out there for many days, and he has chosen to personally sacrifice to such an extreme degree. I think it is worthy of all of our support and our admiration, and I think you are an inspiration, Guido.
I just want to add, and this is really important. You need to put this in somewhere, but there are people already organizing nonviolent direct action against these AI companies' plans. Stop AI. Check out stopai.info. They need your financial support. It costs a few $1,000s a month to keep a full-time mobilizer clothed, fed, housed, and working. And they're doing that work. And the more financial support they have, the faster they can mobilize. And it's going to take a lot. Like, if we're going to get this solved in the potentially very short time we have remaining, it's going to take a lot of effort. So yeah, check out, they've got a donate page, stopai.info. I think it's /donate. Take that action now. People are reaching out into the community, finding people for direct action. And we need this, I think maybe 5 people have taken direct action so far, have taken acts of civil disobedience to stop development. We need hundreds. We need thousands. And that's when we have a chance of flipping the switch on the way society perceives this threat. It's in my estimation, that's the single most important thing you can do. Contribute to the work of Stop AI right now.
And just to, I've said this before on the show, I think it's important to say again, the AI safety movement has a 100% record of nonviolence. There has never been an act of violence taken on behalf of reducing AI risk. There are people out there that want to conflate the direct actions that you're taking, that Stop AI takes, to violence. And it is not violence. Violence is not something that I would support, that you would support. Nonviolent, direct action, civil disobedience is what has changed the world for the last many, 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 many decades. And you are trying to channel those successful movements in our history and bring it into this, the most urgent cause there ever was. And I think it is a key distinction that is worth hitting again and again and again and again. Nonviolent, direct action has been successful, a key part of successful movements in the past.
This is a key thing that a lot of Americans don't realize, is that a mass nonviolent civil disobedience movement succeeds in changing national policy somewhere in the world about every 2 or 3 years. This isn't just something that happened in the past, in the movies. This is a way that societies under incredible pressure are able to change incredibly rapidly. And it may come down to that. So we have to get ahead of the curve. You know, there's a kind of a cynical viewpoint that we have to wait for a warning shot. We have to wait for millions of people to die. No, let's make the sacrifice ourselves so that millions of people don't have to die.
And again, this is another place where people like to conflate things. You are not asking for a warning shot. You are not saying you want a warning shot. You are saying you don't want a warning shot. And what can we do to bring sanity to this before that happens? Right?
We need to bring the pain that is coming if we don't act. We need to bring that forward in time onto ourselves. It's like, it's very hard to see a concrete demonstration of the danger of AI. We need to make that physically visible. We're rational beings. We can anticipate this danger and take action. It's the images of our action which create the social reality, the understanding in society that this is real. People create their understanding of what's real by what other people are doing. If people are not acting like it's an emergency, there's no emergency. So yeah, that's our responsibility. Yeah, I completely reject this idea that we should or need to or have to wait for a warning shot. I think it's incredibly cynical, and it's that part of that myth of inevitability that takes the responsibility of acting off our shoulders. No, we're conscious beings. We understand what's coming. Let's overcome our fear of taking action non-violently, and let's stop this before it becomes real. You know, we're Homo sapiens. We're not machines. We're not animals.
Yeah,
we have to act on that responsibility.
A hunger strike is the warning shot, right? Somebody chaining themselves to a door is a warning shot.
So in the civil rights movement, there were thousands of school children who were arrested for their rights. Thousands. If we can summon up a fraction of that courage, we've got this beat. This is a fight for our rights. It's the most fundamental right you have, which is the right to life. And it's the fight for our children's rights, right? We're a society, right? We're dependent on each other. If we don't stand up for each other, what happens? We're going to get trampled. So I see these actions as standing up for my rights, for your rights, and for the rights of everyone in the society that I'm a part of, right? Living in a society comes with rights, but it comes with responsibilities. And the responsibility is to stand up for other people's rights too. That's what this is about. It's really about standing up for each other.
Guido, I am so appreciative and inspired by what you're doing, and I hope that the trial I hope that the judge really does the trial in the way that you're hoping, and that there are experts called to testify about the danger of AI itself. That would be an incredibly important moment in history. And I think that you just sitting out there with your sign and your hunger strike demanding to meet with Dario is an incredibly powerful thing that you're doing. And you have my full support, and I'm sure the support of a ton of our viewers. And, just wish you the best out there, and hope you stay safe and can keep your wits about you as you go through this, because I don't know what not eating for 15 days does to someone, but it can't be good. But I just find it so inspirational. And so I wish you all the best out there. Truly,
likewise, John, thank you for everything you're doing. And it's an inspiration as well. Awesome.
Thank you.
So when Guido started his hunger strike, he was alone. But then filmmaker Michael Trozzi, who has made a brilliant documentary about SB 1047 in California, we'll put a link to it in the show notes, joined the hunger strike, taking up a post outside of Google DeepMind in London. And then a day or so later, Michael was joined by Demis Hassabis. So there are currently 3 hunger strikers personally sacrificing to save you and your family from AI doom. Here is my interview with Michael and then with Demis.
I've been looking forward to meeting you. I didn't think it was going to happen exactly like this, but I'm glad to meet you.
Yeah, same.
So tell me what you're doing. Tell me where you are, what you're doing, and why.
Yeah, so right now I'm in front of the DeepMind headquarters. There's cars passing by, and I'm doing a hunger strike with Denis, who joined from Amsterdam. The goal of this is to ask Demis Hassabis to accept to publicly state that he would stop releasing new frontier AI models if all the other major AI labs were to do so. This started with Guido, who started this movement in front of Anthropic in San Francisco. He started his hunger strike 7 days ago. I'm on day 5 today. And the goal is to ask the CEO of those AI companies to, make public statements about halting the development of AI when the time comes.
Yeah. And did you know that Guido was going to do what he was going to do, or did you just see it and say, I'll go do the same?
Yeah, I had no idea. I was, I think I saw the news as soon as you saw the news. For me, it was Friday, UK time. And when this happened, I just went away and talked to all of my friends at the co-working space where I'm at, asking them if we should do the same. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this sounds interesting, but I'm not willing to do it and actually do a hunger strike." And I think there's a saying that says, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And I think Guido went away and did it. I've been wanting to do something like this for the past 2 years, since everything about pausing and everything about AI progress became quite public in 2023. I've been caring about the AI safety since around 2017. And I think this was the right moment. And Guido inspired me to take action. And I wish I could also, inspire other people to take bolder actions as well.
That is so cool, man. I didn't know whether, you and Guido had talked before. I didn't know sort of how you came to it. That is so exciting and awesome that literally he was just a match that lit a fire and inspired you and Denis. And I understand there's someone else doing a hunger strike somewhere else, possibly. Is there a fourth person? Have you heard of it?
I don't know about.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of this. If this happened right now, but the thing about DeepSeek, I think, was debunked because it was a fake picture.
Okay.
But next to me is Denis, was the third person that I know of.
Okay. How long will you go? And what do you have a sort of game plan, or you saw Guido do it and you just jumped in and you're going to see how it goes?
Yeah. So I wanted to be in support of Guido. But I think in the past few days there's been so much support. So we're here next to Meta, next to Sony. There's also part of Google, not DeepMind, but just Google, and a lot of employees have been coming in and talking to us, expressing their concerns about the race. One woman came to me and said, I also care about AI alignment, but I don't think we're going to say to solve this without stopping the AI race. I'm hoping that Demis talks to you, like a DeepMind employee, and so I think people care about it, but they can't really say it out loud. I think everybody, even at Meta, people are very supportive. Someone offered to give me some water from Meta, and the journalists as well have been quite supportive, and a lot of people have came to give interviews, and I think there's a real momentum going, and I think if you only look at the comments, I think you don't really get the sense that a lot of people are in support. And I think the silent majority of people would like this post and react to it. Think that's something like that needs to happen, but they, I think it's important to have people to actually come and do it to show other people that it's possible to do it.
Absolutely. Making personal sacrifice is really, really hard, and I'm so inspired to see what you're doing out there. So, Michael, you're joined by one other person. Denis is out there as well, and he is striking also?
Yeah. Do you want to talk to him?
Let me talk to Denis.
Cool, yeah. We have a weird setup, so I'll probably have to switch share with him.
Hey.
How are you doing?
How are you? Good, good.
Yeah, surprisingly well. I expected I would be more hungry, but it's going pretty well so far.
Excellent. And what day are you on?
I'm on day 3 right now.
Day 3 right now. Wow. How did you get involved in this?
So I saw that Guido did the hunger strike. I knew he was going to do it as well. And then it was really inspiring to see how many people seem to resonate with this. He got a lot of views on Twitter. And then a couple days later, or maybe a day later even, I saw that Michael also joined this movement, so to say. I started his own hunger strike, and I thought that was incredible. And I wanted to also participate in this and show that there's, it's not just like one guy, but there's more people that feel like this and feel that we need to start taking serious action to alert the public about what's going on.
Amazing. So inspirational. So you were just able to say, I'm going to drop everything in my life and just stop eating and just go sit out front in London of the headquarters. And what is your demand? Is it the same as Michael's?
Yeah, so basically the core demand is the same for Demis Hassabis to say that they're going to stop developing frontier models if other companies agree to do the same. And that's like the main goal, but then partly it's also to hopefully inspire some other people that care about this very deeply to do what has been done, and perhaps also talk more openly about the risks and talk more openly about what's going on.
Guido has been personally sacrificing for a long time, doing a lot of hard stuff out there in San Francisco to make a difference. It's so inspirational to see other people take his example and do something off of it. What do you think it shows the public when they see people are willing to do something as dire as stop eating to call attention to this cause?
Yeah, I think it's really important because for quite a long time, people have been saying now that AI is super dangerous and it might literally kill you and your children and your family. And even like Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind, has said that there's a non-negligible chance that AI will literally cause human extinction. And a lot of people have been talking about this, but so far action has been largely missing. Or if you look at just the actions that people have taken, it doesn't seem like they actually believe that. And I think it's really important to also take costly actions to show that you're not just talking, but you actually believe what you're saying. And I hope more people will follow Guido's example and start taking more costly actions.
Yeah. How long do you think you guys can go?
My plan is to stay for 1 to 3 weeks. So this is day 2. So that will be like 5 more days. I'm pretty confident I can do at least a week. I've done a 60-hour fast before. Now I am also at about 60 hours, a little bit more. And I'm pretty confident I can do at least a week.
Wow. You know, what would be amazing is if you guys have to tap out at some point, if there were new people who would raise their hand and say, I'll take your place. That would be so cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Awesome. Well, Denis, it is such a pleasure to meet you, and I'm in such strong support of what you and Michael are doing. Thank you for doing what you're doing, and we'll get you out there on the show here and call attention to it and see if we can spread this thing further, because you're absolutely right. Everybody sitting behind their keyboards and just typing stuff to each other is not going to get it done. We need to actually show that people are willing to sacrifice, and this sort of nonviolent protest is been so critical in past movements, and so it's so exciting to see here applied to AI risk. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the interview. Thanks for calling.
So inspirational what these three are doing. So my question to you is, who else is up for this? Who else will stand with Guido and Michael and Denis? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think you're willing to do to bring attention to AI risk. Make it nonviolent, but make it impactful. That's exactly what these guys are doing. Also, use the comments as a way to voice your support for Guido and Michael and Denis. They'll be sitting out there on the sidewalks, I'm sure, watching this video. Let them know in the comments how you feel about what they're doing. I am sure it will get through to them. All right, so let's do a little catching up and some housekeeping. I've been keeping the intros to the show a lot shorter, and I'm going to put all the housekeeping stuff for our core audience and our For Humanity AI Risk Network family here at the end of the show. So apologies from me. I've been slower in getting out these For Humanity episodes than I ever have been in the last 2 years. I'm really sorry about that. I am literally just working around the clock 7 days a week, working on getting the AI Risk Network and Guardrail Now, the nonprofit that we have started to fund the AI Risk Network up and running and sort of getting them moving with speed and with steam. I will get back to the bi-weekly cadence of For Humanity, starting with this show, I promise. All right, so got a fun new feature here we're going to be working into the AI Risk Network. We have a field correspondent. Chaz Chappell is a viewer with TV news experience who volunteered to go out and interview people man on the street style about AI risk. Went out on the mall in D.C., we're going to be sending him out to interview people. So, let me know in the comments where you think we should send him and what you think he should be asking people. I thought he did a great job. It's interesting. People don't always say what you want them to say. Take a look.
We're here in DC asking people about AI extinction risk.
When it comes to security-related incidents, AI is definitely blurring the line.
AI is no match for John.
Elon Musk says there is a 10 to 20% chance that the human race could go extinct because of AI in the next 5 to 10 years. What's your reaction to that?
If we don't develop our AI, someone else does. It's very important who controls AI. For example, I will trust, for example, US control the AI technique, or such person like Elon Musk. It's much better than China or Russian.
But the premise, it's something to look at. I don't think it's going to be too big of like a humanity collapse thing, but it's definitely going to be a disruptor in a lot of industries.
Well, you could be right, but from my perspective on it, 20 years, I'd be 62. I'd be cool with hanging it up.
Just a couple thousand people are making big decisions that'll impact all 8 billion of us in the next couple of years. Experts believe we've got less than 90 weeks to make the critical decisions to take us off the path to extinction. Use the link below to demand action from your congressional representative, and be sure to subscribe to the AI Risk Network.
All right, thank you, Chaz. We'll be looking forward to seeing more from you. People on the street are who we need to convince about this stuff. They don't always say what we expect them or want them to say, we, the AI risk aware, because AI risk awareness is not all that it needs to be. We need to get the word out on the street. So I look forward to having Chaz out there to give us a feel for what people are actually talking about, actually on the real streets. Okay, my friends, please remember, AI risk is not someone else's problem. It's yours and it is mine. And there is no way on earth we are going to allow a few thousand people to wipe the other 8 billion of us off this planet. No way. For Humanity, I'm John Sherman. I'll see you real soon.